Yes, here we go. And now it's time to introduce yet another interviewee on my show. And yeah, it's a pleasure to interview Shelley Minson. She, of course, is an international female performer. And it's an absolute amazing to have you on my radio show and like podcasts as well.
Oh, thanks so much, Dan. I'm really excited to be chatting to you, and thank you so much for having me.
Yes, it's the pleasure's all mine. And how are you doing today? And where are you situated in the world at present?
Yeah, so it's currently in the morning over here, so it's quite early. And I live with my husband and my little dog Dolly in the country music capital of Australia, Tamworth, in New South Wales. So yeah, we're in the middle of summer here. It's quite a hot place, so probably quite different to where you are.
Wow. And well, it's a good evening from here, and it's probably good morning from you to here as
Yeah,
well.
that's right. Yeah, no, it's nice and early, about 6:30 in the morning here at the moment. But yeah.
Great. And I just wanted to invite you on the show to talk about your current single you're promoting. It's called The Riverbank Red.
Yeah, Dan, yeah. So my husband Laurie wrote that with a well-known songwriter from over in Australia here called Matt Scullion. And the idea behind it is getting a bottle of red wine and taking it down to the river with the one you love. And just a simple kind of a song. It's kind of got a bit of a Cajun country feel. And it's just a happy song, I think.
Brilliant. And you mentioned like Cajun feel. Does that kind of like have like a Louisianian sound to it?
That's right. Yes, which is a little bit different. I mean, I do a lot of rockabilly and things like that. But yeah, so this is a little bit of a different feel, but
Yeah.
it was good fun. Got some fiddles in there, and yeah, gives it
And
a
and
good fun sound.
And what I like about it, you've took like the classic retro look and you made it into the modern day era as well.
Oh, thanks, Dan. Yeah, I actually started dressing vintage inspired before I started singing. So it was about in 2010. And I just kind of love that look. It's kind of like a modern take on, 1950s. So it's sort of like a vintage inspired fashion. There's actually quite a lot of UK designers that I wear. Actually, this dress is a London and Roses, I think, and Hell Bunny. There's quite a lot of the retro brands come from over in the UK. It's just it's a fun look, and it's not that I'm trying to live back in the 50s. I just kind of like that style. And when I started singing, I liked a lot of artists like Patsy Cline and Hank Williams and Elvis Presley. So it kind of all fits together pretty well.
And a lot of the modern day artists have like with that look they've carried it, you know, like say Amy Winehouse, Paloma Faith
That's
to
right.
name but a few.
Yeah, that's right. And ones like Imelda May, she was, quite iconic in the rockabilly scene. Yeah, no, it's a fun look, and it's just nice and bright and happy.
Yeah, that's what it's about. Also with the Riverband Red record, who did you work with on this track?
So on this track, we had a lot of musicians, which the listeners might not know. They're all Australian ones. We've had a guy called Gary Steele, who's a fantastic piano player, and fiddle with Huey Curtis. My husband Laurie, of course, he's a multi-instrumentalist, so he's played quite a few different instruments on harmonica and guitar, and yeah, a bass player from here, Glenn Bewley, did some harmonies on it as well. And just the whole album that I've just released is just a real collaborative thing with lots of different musicians and lots of different songwriters. So it's kind of, there's different feels in the album, which is good. It doesn't all sound the same.
That's
Yeah.
good. And the Tamworth Music Festival 2025, has that recently just happened?
It
And did you
has.
manage to participate in this year's festival at all?
I did. It was a huge festival this year. The numbers were really up. Unfortunately, I got 5 days of shows in and then came down with COVID. So then I had to isolate for the rest of the festival. But we did get my album launch in, which was the main thing for me, and some other shows and fan zone. So I did have to cancel some spots. So it was a real Really disappointing. Unfortunately, a lot of people have come down with COVID since. It's one of them things because it's such a big festival, and you've got people coming from all over Australia and even from other parts of the world. So everyone's congregating, and sometimes the germs get around. But it's just a wonderful festival. It's Australia's biggest music festival and one of the biggest music festivals in the world,
Wow.
actually.
I know
Yeah.
20, I know that 2026 you'll be there.
That's right. I'll be the one carrying around the hand sanitizer and refusing any hugs. No, it's just it was a bit unlucky, but at least, like I say, I did get my album launch in, and that went really well. We had 8-piece band, and but yeah, I'm really happy for the festival that it was so successful. The cost of living crisis over here is hitting people hard, but still, people seem to be wanting to go out and enjoy music, which is great.
Yeah. That's true. We all work hard in our lives, so we've got to have some kind of leeway, where we can enjoy ourselves.
That's right. Yeah,
And what better way through than music?
that's right, Dan.
Cool.
Correct.
I'm going to talk about some of your other numbers as well. Or you released a single called "Pin Me Up." "Pin Me Up" was that a fun song to record? And when you perform that live, does it always get people like in a good happy mood?
Yeah, Dan. So that was on my first album, Rockabilly. We actually launched that over in Viva Las Vegas, which is the world's biggest rockabilly festival over in Las Vegas. We played there a couple of times. But yeah, Lawrie and I wrote that song, and it's just like a tribute to the pin-up girls. Just a fun kind of a song. The pin-up sort of came from the term in the 1940s when the sort of men were writing letters to the women in wartime, and they'd send the pictures to the men, and they'd be the pin-up girls. So yeah, it's just a fun song, and I like to sing it if we are playing at festivals, retro festivals where there are a lot of pin-up girls, and dedicate it to them.
That's amazing. And what was the experience of working in a recording studio when you were doing your album, with the full backing of professional musicians?
Yeah, well, most of it actually was done here at home in our studio, and so it was a bit of a case of when musicians were in town, Lawrie would grab them and they'd come around and do their part. So we didn't actually do like the whole we all sit in at the one time and play together, which I think is a bit the case these days. People fly in their parts, but yeah, most of it was just done here at our house, which it's credit to Lawrie. He's done a great job,
Yeah.
and yeah.
So it's amazing technology, isn't it, when you can remotely record and do it from the comfort of your own home, and it cut costs as well.
Oh, for sure. That's right.
Brilliant. Another track you also released, the Hoedown Boogie, which is a mid to up tempo song, one to get you on your feet and hit the dance floor, or even have a cheeky line dance too.
Yeah, that's right, Dan. So that one was written by a family friend of ours, a fellow called Des Rowney, and he's a huge Hank Williams fan. And he was putting these songs up on Facebook, and just sitting in his living room playing the guitar. And my mum actually heard it and said, "Oh, I think that's you should ask Desi if you could record that song." And so we gave him a call, and yeah, he was really happy to have, because I think he wrote it actually back in 1979. So it's been written for quite a while, but never recorded. And it's just got that kind of Hank Williams feel,
Yeah.
which I like.
Would you say it was a sleeper hit then? It's been around for a long time, but finally unleashed.
That's right. I mean, another thing that my husband Lawrie and I do here in Tamworth is we host monthly songwriter nights, and the talent of the songwriters is amazing. We get like lots of local songwriters and also visiting songwriters coming, and you hear these songs and you think, wow, that's just there's so many fantastic songs out there that may never see the light of day.
Yeah.
But we
Amazing.
really like encouraging. Laurie's been doing songwriter nights for over 20 years in Tamworth, and that's something that we like to help encourage as well.
Mm. Do you feel everyone's got a creative spirit inside of them somewhere? They just got to find it, like the soul.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think everyone's got a song or two in them. They just might need someone to help bring it out.
Yeah. And back to the Hoedown Boogie. Yeah, I just wanted to add, I like the harmonica mouth organ on this one. Did you feel that?
Oh,
Did you feel it just gave it that extra spice of life to the song?
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, Lawrie, is a fantastic harmonica player, and he's been a musician for a long time and played with a lot of Australian country music greats like Slim Dusty, and he was in Lee Kernaghan's band for 18 years, and people like Jimmy Barnes, and so yeah, I'm grateful that Lawrie. If it wasn't for Lawrie, I probably would have never started singing. I always liked music growing up. I grew up on a farm singing all the time, but none of my family were singers, and so I didn't think that I'd ever do it. So it was sort of a bit later in life, actually. Lawrie and I'd been married for a number of years, and then I just started singing a little bit, and went from there. So yeah, I'm very grateful, to Lawrie for helping me
Yeah.
get started. And yeah, he is a wonderful harmonica player. He plays about 10 different instruments, so he's pretty clever. I can't play any, unfortunately, only the tambourine, but Lawrie makes up for it.
That's so cool. And how's your musical journey been so far? Have you had any like challenges on the way, or has it been kind of an even ride?
Oh, look, I think, it is quite difficult at times, especially with COVID. I felt like we were getting a bit of momentum with my career, and then COVID hit, and then it just sort of, no one knew what was happening.
Hmm.
Uh, but I'm just grateful for the opportunities I've had. We've done some shows in India with a good friend of ours called Bobby Cash, who's quite famous over there for his country music singing. So I did a duet with him on the album as well called Small Talk. So I'm just grateful for the opportunities that music has brought, and performed a couple of times in Las Vegas at the Viva Las Vegas Festival, and just traveling around Australia. It's just wonderful to have that opportunity. I realize my music is sort of a niche market. It's not it's not the what the cool kids are probably playing, but there are still people out there that like that traditional music, and we attract a lot of dancers to our show. So we just played at a local club here last weekend, and we get rock and roll, rockabilly, line dancers. So we like to keep the dance floor full as much as we can, and it's just about, for me, it's not trying to take over the world. It's trying to bring happiness to people,
Yeah.
and just doing the type of music that I like to do. I'm not doing it to try and be cool or whatever. But if it can bring enjoyment to people, well, I think that's the aim
Yeah.
of it all, really.
That's splendid. Like having your own style, being comfortable with like the music you're performing and having a good time with it and making people happy. That's what it's all about.
For sure, Dan. That's right.
And on to where you mentioned some of the career highlights there. What has been personally your proudest achievement to date?
Um, it's a good question. Um, Yeah, I think I really enjoyed when we went to India doing the shows. It was really interesting to see that people over there actually really like the traditional country music. Um, yeah, I think just, I get enjoyment out of seeing people happy. I also do disability support work. So, sometimes I've done shows with people with disabilities, and they really enjoy that. And it's just, I think, the best achievement. So when you've had a really good show, and you've made people happy, I think that's probably the best
Yeah,
achievement.
a rewarding experience.
What was that?
Was
Sorry.
it it's a rewarding
Oh, sorry,
experience?
rewarding. Yes, yeah, for sure. That's right. Definitely. And I love being able to travel too. Like we've got quite a few festivals that we're playing at this year. And it's just, I love like getting in the car and heading off, and seeing new places and meeting new people. I really enjoy that. And that's what music definitely, we know people from everywhere, and it's great.
Cool. Looking to 2025, are you looking forward to getting more songs recorded under your belt and performing in the forthcoming future with your shows?
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, just like I was saying, looking forward to doing quite a few festivals we've got coming up over the next few months. And, possibly, we never know, we might be going back to India again and things like that. So you just never know with music sometimes what's around the corner. But it's just great to have my second album out and promote it. So yeah, I think there's some fun times ahead.
Yeah, brilliant. And what do you think of today's music, and what kind of music are like on your playlists, when you're driving to a gig or you're hitting the road?
Yeah. So I am not I'm probably not the best one to ask about modern country. I'm really happy that country music has become quite popular again. I'm still listening to the old school stuff, so a bit of Wanda Jackson and Patsy Cline, and I tend to listen to a lot of songs that I think, oh, I'd like to sing that at our shows, but so I'm still listening to the old stuff. I do love a lot of 90s country too. I'm still stuck in the 90s a little bit, artists like Shania Twain and things like that. But I think it's great that, country is apparently cool again. And we just had Luke Combs, a big American country music artist touring Australia, and it was the biggest numbers I think they've ever had for a country music concert. And so it is great for the country music industry that it's quite popular at the moment.
Fascinating. And where's best for people to follow you on social media platforms, or do you have like an official website?
Yeah, so I do have a website which is just shelleyminson.com, and I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, so just under Shelley Minson. I post a lot of pictures on Instagram of different outfits and my retro outfits and things. So if people are interested in that, I'd love them to follow me. Music's on Spotify as well, and if anyone did want a copy of the CD, you can go through the website or just send me a message.
Brilliant. Well, it looks like you're having a ball with your music, which is great.
Oh, thank
All
you.
for me really to do is wish you the very best with your musical prospects. And
Oh,
I can play one of your latest tracks now, which we talked about on the onset of the interview, the Riverbank Red.
beautiful. Thank you so much for your time. It was lovely to chat to you.
Lovely to chat to you. That was our special guest on today's show, Shelley Minson, joining me.